Alright guys, so today is a new day. Today we have a TIG welder, and I can imagine you guys know why I got this with all the custom work that I do. And about the only thing you hear me say that I'm ever doing is waiting for a welder to come and weld something for me. Well, the day of waiting is gone. Today we have our own new welder. So let's check this thing out. Alright, we got some foam blocks. Nothing inside there. We got some smaller boxes within the box. We'll put those aside for a second. There's two of them. And two small, and it seems like one larger box. Alright, so we have two small boxes, one larger box, and it looks like what's left in this box is the welder. So here we go, drum roll please. And wow! I know. This thing is cool. So, put the cardboard back. We can get this box out of the way. We can look at the welder. Now, I don't know if you guys can see from this, so let me see if I can zoom this in. See if I can get a closer look. That's probably better. Alright. So, what we got here, what model this is this is the Vulcan PRO TIG 200. This is strictly a TIG machine. There's other ones that are available that do MIG and TIG. But I was talking to a guy that I had to go to before I bought this. I was calling around, finding about where to get argon gas and tanks and stuff like that I did buy. I had to buy a argon tank as well. That's about so far all that I had to buy extra. I did buy a good handful of aluminum welding rods, a 40-pound, I bought the bottle instead of renting it. I bought a 40-pound bottle of argon, and the guy also said if you're doing aluminum, to buy some new stainless steel brushes, because if you're using brushes that I used to, because I have MIG as well, and you don't want to use the same brushes with MIG and TIG. So here's, I'll snap you guys off the tripod and we'll take a closer look. Alright. So this is the unit, PRO TIG 200. It's got the AC balance, pulse amps, frequency, all of that good stuff, power levels, obviously the on and off button here. It has for the torch. It has a big giant fan, which is extremely important. A reset button. It has the gas connection, 220 connection, which I'm going to be connecting it at 220. I have a dryer and an oven in this house, luckily we don't have gas, so we have plenty of high voltage electricity. So I'll snap you guys back on the, actually I'll take a picture, let you guys see this. Material thickness, it can do up to 3/16. What I'm really looking at is down on the bottom, the aluminum. 100% argon, that's what I got. Tungsten diameters. Apparently you use different diameter tungstens for different aluminums. I've never TIG welded before. This is going to be my first attempt at TIG welding. So we'll just see how easy TIG welding is. Snap you back onto the tripod. What we'll do is we'll get a feel for just how easy TIG welding is through this. So now let me just see what else is in these boxes. We get a knife. So I think we'll open up the big box first. I'm betting this is the hoses and the cords. So this is one big box full of 3 smaller boxes. The boxes don't seem to stop. So we'll get that box out of the way. And we'll open up this box here. And it already says on the box here that it says this contains the foot pedal. It has a good grip on it. First thing I notice, has a lot of tread on the grip, non-slip grip, and it has the socket that plugs right into the front of the welder here. So we got the foot pedal. This is the gas regulator. Some connectors, or a connector, some paperwork, and the regulator. Now I know that these regulators by themselves cost about $100. I'll give you guys a closer view. So this goes up to, it looks like 4,000 PSI. So this will probably tell you what's in the bottle, and this will probably tell you, you know, how much you're using. The guy said I'd probably be using anywhere between 20 and 40. I've never done TIG before, like I said, so I guess we'll find out together. You know, people say it's hard. Some people say it's easy. So I'm pretty sure it's going to be easy, but have a learning curve. And I know one thing, it's going to be fun. So let's open up this. I'm pretty sure contains the torch. Now, torch is the part that's always in your hand. I don't know if you guys have ever watched that guy Av on YouTube, but he says that's where the 200-pound gorilla meets the machine. And I know I'm 270-pound gorilla, so that's a whole lot of gorilla meat in the machine. So the torch. Now, I'm not sure exactly, but this looks like it's the hose that goes from the tank to the machine, from the argon to the machine. And this looks like it'll do 120 and puts it into the 220 outlet. And this is probably just the standard 220 outlet plug. I must say that this 220 plug that's on here looks a lot different than the one I have on the wall, so I'm going to have to custom make my plug, which is fine. I'll just end up cutting this end off and putting on the end I need. That's a relatively cheap. I knew I was going to have to do that. And I'm going to end up needing a long cord because I'm going to have to go from the outlet indoors all the way outdoors. So instead of buying a custom 220 or 240 watt or volt extension cord, the guy at the welding store, Bill, he just said, you know, go get the wire, you know, some big gauge wire. I don't remember what he said, if he said 10 gauge. And then he said just find the ends that you need and plug and play into this. So we'll end up making our own extension cord, and this here is the torch. I don't know what this is. Sheet metal gauge. Oh, this is cool. Not sure how to use it, but let me show you what this is. This is called a sheet metal gauge. It's what's labeled on it. And it probably has rod here, if it'll fit through there, and then it probably has for wire, or a smaller rod, bigger rod. And then I don't know what these flat spots are for. Maybe, I don't know if I see something that looks kind of like a 1/4 inch. I don't, but this is gauge. So gauge is different than, so this is probably some type of rod, but then again, I'm not sure. I'll look into that. So we got ourselves a sheet metal gauge, and we got the torch. So we'll check out the torch, and again, this is the Pro TIG 200, and these things, you know, to tell you the truth, I thought I was going to be able to use one of those like 20% off coupons, and that's probably what you all think, but they get all the money in the world for these things. They don't offer that coupon on these, and this thing was going on over 1,100 bucks out the door. So these are not cheap by any means, and that's just to get this box, and then it was off to get the gas and the canister and stuff like that. So this is the torch, and it looks like it came with all kinds of cups and all kinds of stuff like that. We'll probably have to find out what all this stuff is together, but it looks like it came with all kinds of stuff, different cups, and I don't know what this is called, maybe a wand or something. Looks like it did come with some tungsten, bunch of tips and stuff. I'm sure this will come in very handy. It looks like a good starter pack. I wish I was a little bit more hip with the lingo. You know, I don't want to sound stupid, but you know, if I was trying to guess, I'd probably sound even more stupid. So I'm not exactly sure about any of this stuff, but you know, one thing with me is that you put this stuff in my hands and I'm going to end up making some magic with it. So these are the tools right here that are going to really give me the ability to create and design things the way I want to, and are really going to take and let me just spread the wings and fly in a sense of speak, and be able to just make some amazing, you know, I can weld the cylinder blocks now, I can weld heads. Doing TIG is just unbelievable. You know, it just comes out with the most perfect welds every time. So this here just looks like a really heavy duty ground clamp. It's got a lot of heat shrink around it. I'm sure they make better. Wow, that thing has got some real hard to squeeze bite on it, so that's good. Looks like a pretty heavy gauge wire. And so yeah, that's pretty cool. So that's that, and that goes into one of the plugs on the machine as well. And there's one more box. Last but definitely not least, this is the electrode holder. Now I'm guessing this is for if you were doing stick welding. Yep. So this would be an electrode holder for doing stick welding. Another really cool piece. I guess from what I've read online and from what people have been telling me at stores and at the weld shop, which was specifically where they just sold the gas and stuff, and they had welders for sale. The guy looked at the box and was checking this out, and you know, we were talking, and he was really impressed at some of the features this thing had. From what I've seen online, the people that have taken these apart, I guess they have really good internals. I've seen some reviews on some of the Vulcans, I guess he was having problems getting it to do the high frequency start. But the one he was using, and he was using it for aluminum, is not the one that I got. I got the Pro TIG 200. This one is just for TIG. It doesn't do MIG. It doesn't do anything like that. This is just a TIG unit. And they have another one that does TIG, that does MIG, that does stick, that does flux core. It does all these other things, and it was actually $50 less. This one was $50 more and only does TIG. TIG aluminum. So TIG aluminum, TIG steel. But this one definitely it has outstanding performance. We'll definitely put this thing to the test. Oh, and like the guy that I was doing a review on one of these, he was able to do the welding. He was able to do pretty good welding with it. The only complaint he had was the high frequency start. But the one he was using was not this one. This machine here, all the reviews that I've read and everybody that I've talked to, I mean, this machine is a beautiful, beautiful machine. But we're going to put it to the test. We'll probably end up melting a bunch of metal and hopefully putting it back together. But yeah, so I just wanted to put this on video. New things coming, you know, so stay tuned. We got a lot of stuff happening, and now we're really just going to ramp up the progression with all of these engines. So, you know, Paul's Carts is the way to go. We only build power over here. So, you know, now, I mean, we are just ready to be moving forward. Everything like in-house, all the work can get done here now. So, I mean, this is amazing. So, you know, like, comment, and subscribe. And until next time, keep it real.